Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every one of our lives where the ground beneath us feels like it's breaking apart. When the weight of disappointment, heartbreak, and failure presses so hard against your chest, you wonder if you'll ever breathe freely again. Maybe you've been there, and maybe you've been there. Maybe you're there right now. That dark place where the world feels too heavy, where dreams seem foolish and hope feels like a distant memory. But hear me when I say pain is not where your story ends. Pain is the birthplace of your power. It is not the end of your journey. It's the beginning of your transformation. The hurt you feel today is simply the pressure sculpting you into the masterpiece you were born to become. I came here today not just to speak to your mind, but to awaken your soul. You are not broken. You are not defeated. You are being prepared, elevated, and strengthened for something greater than you can even imagine right now. So I dare you, not to run from your pain, but to rise from it. Because on the other side of your deepest hurt is the life you've been waiting to live. Pain is one of the greatest teachers life will ever offer you, but it rarely feels like a gift when you're in it. When we experience pain, whether it's from loss, betrayal, failure, or disappointment, our natural reaction is to resist it, to avoid it, to question why it had to happen to us. We tend to look at pain as a punishment, as a sign that something is wrong with us or wrong with our path. But what if the pain you've experienced isn't a curse, but a calling? What if every moment of hurt was actually preparing you for a level of strength, wisdom, and purpose that you could never reach otherwise? The secret most people never realize is that pain is not your punishment. It's your platform. It's the stage upon which you are being asked to rise higher, speak louder, and stand stronger than you ever have before. When you treat pain as punishment, you begin to internalize the belief that you are somehow undeserving of joy, success, or happiness. You start wearing your pain like a label, allowing it to define your identity instead of shape your resilience. You stay small because you believe the lie that you're broken beyond repair. But when you start to see pain differently, when you recognize it as an essential part of your growth, you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" And you start asking, "How is this happening for me?" That single shift in perspective turns your wounds into wisdom. It turns your heartache into healing. It turns your rock bottom moments into the bedrock of your future success. There are moments in life when pain feels so overwhelming that it seems like it will crush you. Nights when the silence is deafening and the loneliness aches deeper than you thought possible. Days when it feels like no matter how hard you try, you just can't get ahead. Can't find your footing, can't catch a break. But I need you to understand that every single one of those moments is not evidence of your weakness. It's evidence of your becoming. The pressure you feel right now is not meant to break you down. It's meant to break you open. Open to a new strength. Open to a deeper faith. Open to a deeper faith. Open to a level of courage that comfort zones could never demand from you. Think about a seed buried deep underground. In the darkness under the heavy soil, it's easy to think nothing is happening. But deep beneath the surface, life is stirring. The seed is cracking open, expanding, preparing to push through the earth and reach the sun. It is in the darkness that growth begins. And it is in your darkest, most painful seasons that your most profound growth takes root. The pain you are experiencing is not evidence that you are buried. It's proof that you are planted. Something beautiful, strong, and powerful is being born in you, but it needs the pressure to emerge. Without the darkness, the seed would never sprout. Without the resistance, the muscles would never grow stronger. Without the heartbreak, the heart would never learn how deeply it can love, how boldly it can heal, how powerfully it can rise. There is a version of you on the other side of your pain that is more resilient, more courageous, and more unstoppable than you can even imagine right now. But you'll never meet that version of yourself if you quit in the middle. You'll never experience the fullness of your power if you believe the lie that pain is a stop sign. Pain is not a stop sign. Pain is a signal that a transformation is underway. It's a sign that a breakthrough is on the horizon. It's the evidence that you are being stretched, expanded, elevated into a new level of yourself. And yes, the stretching hurts. Yes, the expansion can be uncomfortable. Yes, the elevation can feel lonely. But the alternative is staying small, staying stuck, staying in a life that is less than what you are capable of living. You don't have to understand all the reasons behind your pain to honor the purpose of it. You don't have to have all the answers to start walking forward again. Sometimes faith is simply taking the next step even when you can't see the full staircase. Sometimes courage is getting back up when everything inside you wants to stay down. And sometimes strength is just choosing to breathe through another day, knowing that healing isn't always loud and obvious. It's often silent and slow, but no less miraculous. Every scar you carry, every battle you fought, every tear you've cried is a testament to your resilience. They are not marks of defeat. They are proof that you endured what was meant to destroy you and came out stronger. They are reminders that you faced the fire and didn't let it consume you. They are evidence that you are a survivor, a fighter, and a creator of new beginnings. And if you're still here, still breathing, still daring to hope for more, then that means your story isn't finished. It means the best chapters are still unwritten. It means the dreams buried deep in your heart are still alive for a reason. Pain will always visit in life, but it does not have to define who you are. It is simply a part of the story, not the whole story. Your power is born in how you choose to respond. Will you stay down, bitter, broken? Or will you rise, wiser, stronger, and more committed than ever to becoming the person you were always meant to be? The choice is always yours. Pain may knock you down, but it does not get to knock you out. It may shake you, but it does not have the right to break you. Not unless you give it permission. And today, right here, right now, you take that permission back. You reclaim your right to rise, your right to heal, your right to transform every ounce of pain into power. Because you were never meant to be defeated by life. You were meant to be defined by how beautifully you rise from it. Choosing to reframe your struggles as training grounds for personal power is one of the most life-altering decisions you will ever make. When adversity strikes, when everything around you feels like it's crumbling, you are standing at a critical crossroads. One path leads to bitterness, resentment, and surrender. The other path leads to wisdom, strength, and an unshakable personal power that no storm can ever take from you. The struggle itself doesn't define your destiny. Your perspective does. Your willingness to see beyond the immediate pain and recognize the deeper purpose in your struggle determines whether you come out of the fire, weakened or refined, into pure gold. There's a truth that many people miss in the middle of their hardships. Struggle is not just something to endure, it's something to harness. It's a forge where character is built, where resilience is sharpened, where clarity about your true purpose is birthed. When you reframe your struggle not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity, you stop seeing life as something happening to you and start seeing it as something happening for you. And that shift, that mental and emotional pivot, gives you back your power. Because no matter how dark it gets, when you believe that your struggle is training you, you never see yourself as a victim. You start seeing yourself as a warrior in preparation. There are going to be seasons when it feels like you are being stretched beyond your limits. Seasons when you're on your knees, asking how much more you can possibly take. Maybe you're facing betrayal from people you trusted. Maybe you're dealing with rejection after you gave your all. Maybe you're fighting a battle inside your mind that no one else can see. In those moments, it's so easy to believe that the struggle is proof that you're losing. But what if it's proof that you're growing? What if everything you are going through is necessary to prepare you for the level of blessing, leadership, influence, or love you have been praying for? You cannot reach your full potential by living in comfort. Growth demands resistance. Think about the caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. That process is not gentle. It's a battle. The caterpillar must struggle inside the cocoon. It must push, press, and strain against what confines it to become strong enough to fly. Without the struggle, its wings would never form with the strength required to soar. If someone were to cut open the cocoon and help it escape the struggle, the butterfly would emerge weak, unable to fly, doomed to a life it was never meant to live. Your struggles are your cocoon. They are not there to trap you. They are there to strengthen you for your next level. Every challenge you face is developing a skill, a mindset, a level of emotional intelligence you will need for where you are going. The heartbreak is teaching you boundaries and self-respect. The financial struggles are sharpening your resourcefulness and creativity. The loneliness is cultivating a deeper relationship with yourself. Every trial is serving you in ways you may not even fully understand yet. Life is not trying to hurt you. It's trying to train you. And the sooner you can reframe your pain through that lens, the sooner you step into the personal power that was always meant for you. You see, power doesn't come from avoiding struggle. It comes from facing it head on. It comes from standing in the middle of the storm and saying, I will not be moved. It comes from choosing to believe in your value, your worth, your destiny, even when everything around you tells you to give up. You build your power in the moments no one sees, the moments when you're fighting silent battles, when you're crying yourself to sleep, but still getting up the next morning, when you're doubting yourself but taking the next step anyway. That quiet resilience, that relentless spirit, that decision to keep going, that's where your true power is born. One of the greatest lies you could ever believe is that struggling means you are failing. The truth is that struggling means you are in the process of becoming. You are shedding old layers of yourself, outdated beliefs, unhealthy attachments, and everything that no longer fits where you are going. And yes, it hurts. Growth always does. But you don't get to skip the struggle if you want to taste the fullness of your strength. You don't get to fast-track transformation. You earn it one painful, courageous step at a time. Imagine looking back 5 years from now, realizing that what you thought was your breakdown was actually your breakthrough. That the season you thought would destroy you actually delivered you into the most powerful version of yourself you've ever known. You won't get there by wishing the struggle away. You'll get there by facing it, embracing it, and using it as fuel. You'll get there by reminding yourself that every tear, every setback, every lonely night is working for your good, not against you. The struggle is real, but so is your strength. The journey is hard, but so is your spirit. The obstacles are many, but so are your opportunities. When you decide to reframe your struggles as training grounds instead of battlefields, you take back the pen and start writing a new story. A story where you are not the victim, but the victor. A story where pain doesn't define you. It refines you. It refines you. A story where your struggles didn't weaken you. They weaponized you with wisdom, courage, and unstoppable faith. You were never meant to be defeated by your struggles. You were meant to rise through them and because of them. And the beautiful thing about life is that every day, every moment, you get to choose how you see your journey. Choose to see your struggles as your sacred training ground. Choose to see yourself not as broken, but as becoming. Choose to see yourself as the powerful, capable, extraordinary being you are, being molded, tested, and prepared for something greater than you could ever imagine. There's an undeniable force within each of us, a power that waits patiently for us to embrace it. It's the force that rises when we stand up after falling, the power that emerges when we refuse to remain in the shadows of self-doubt. This is the power that lies in the decision to break free from the limitations we've placed on ourselves. The limitations that stem from our past, our fears, and sometimes the narratives we've inherited from the world around us. It's the decision to step outside of our comfort zone and face the unknown with courage and conviction. But first, we must understand that the journey to unlocking this power begins with a shift in how we view ourselves. It begins with rewriting the story that we've been telling ourselves about what we are capable of. We all have a story, often one that's been written by the past and fueled by past failures, disappointments, and pain. These stories tend to shape how we show up in the world. They dictate our decisions, influence our relationships, and often limit what we believe is possible for us. But what happens when we start to see that the story we've been telling ourselves doesn't define who we are? What happens when we stop allowing our past to determine our future? We tap into something extraordinary, the power to create a new narrative, one that is filled with limitless potential and unshakable self-belief. The stories we tell ourselves can be deeply ingrained, whether we are aware of them or not. Some of us have carried around the idea that we are not enough, that we're too broken, too old, too young, too inexperienced, too unworthy. These narratives may have been passed down to us by parents, peers, or society, messages that tell us what we can and cannot do. They shape our self-worth, determine our actions, and ultimately set the boundaries for what we believe we deserve. But what if you could take the pen from the hands of these outdated stories and write your own? What if you could choose to write a narrative that aligns with the truth of who you are, who you're becoming, and what you're truly capable of? The power to change your life begins when you decide to take control of your story. That means no longer allowing the labels others have placed on you to define your journey. It means letting go of the past mistakes, the failures that haunt your memory, and the negative self-talk that holds you back. It means rewriting the script and starting fresh, knowing that your past doesn't have to dictate your future. The first step to rewriting your story is recognizing the power of your thoughts. Thoughts are not just fleeting, insignificant ideas. They are the architects of our lives. What you believe about yourself, what you think about your future, and how you perceive your challenges shapes your reality. If you believe you are destined to fail, if you tell yourself that you aren't capable of greatness, then that's exactly what you will experience. But the beauty is, you have the power to change your thoughts. You have the ability to consciously decide to focus on what empowers you rather than what limits you. The moment you choose to believe in your potential, the moment you decide that your story isn't written in stone, your entire life begins to shift. Consider this: every single successful person you admire, every person who has achieved greatness in their field, every person who has risen above the challenges in their life has had to rewrite their story. They've had to overcome the limiting beliefs that once held them back. They've had to push through the doubts, the fears, and the setbacks. But what made them different wasn't their circumstances. It was their willingness to challenge the narrative they had been telling themselves. It was their decision to break free from the constraints of their past and embrace a new possibility for their future. They decided that their story was theirs to rewrite, not someone else's to dictate. If you want to unlock the power to transform your life, you must first accept that you are not bound by the stories you've been telling yourself. You have the power to change your narrative at any moment. You are not limited by the experiences of yesterday, and you are not defined by the mistakes you've made or the challenges you faced. Your past is simply a chapter in the book of your life. It's not the final page. Your story is still unfolding. The ending has yet to be written. To truly rewrite your story, you need to reframe the challenges you faced. Instead of viewing them as setbacks, see them as stepping stones. Every failure, every disappointment, every obstacle is a part of the process. These are the experiences that have shaped your strength, your resilience, and your wisdom. Without them, you wouldn't be who you are today. But you don't have to stay stuck in the narrative of being a victim of your circumstances. Instead, you can choose to see yourself as the hero of your own story, the one who rises above the struggles and emerges victorious. But rewiring your mind to believe in your own potential is not an easy task. It requires intentional effort. It means challenging the negative beliefs that you've held on to for years and replacing them with new, empowering thoughts. It means surrounding yourself with positivity, with people who lift you up, with experiences that nourish your growth. It means silencing the inner critic and giving more space to the voice that tells you, you can do this. You must practice this shift every day, slowly retraining your mind to focus on what you want rather than what you feel. Each time you catch yourself thinking a limiting thought, stop and ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Is this the story I want to tell myself? If the answer is no, replace it with a thought that empowers you, a thought that aligns with your true potential. You must also learn to forgive yourself for the past. Too often, we get stuck in a loop of guilt and regret over things we wish we'd done differently. But holding on to the mistakes of yesterday only anchors us in the past, preventing us from moving forward. To rewrite your story, you need to let go of the self-blame and the shame. You need to forgive yourself for not knowing better at the time. You need to give yourself permission to start fresh, to be imperfect, and to embrace the journey of becoming the best version of yourself. The moment you let go of the past and choose to create a new narrative is the moment you unlock the true power within you. You no longer have to be a prisoner to the limiting beliefs that have held you back for so long. You are free to become the person you are always meant to be. And when you embrace this truth, when you choose to rewrite your story, you begin to step into a life of limitless possibilities, a life where every challenge is an opportunity, every failure is a lesson, and every setback is a chance to rise even higher. The power to transform your life is in your hands. It's time to take the pen and start writing the story that reflects the powerful, unstoppable person you are becoming. In the process of rewriting your story and transforming pain into personal power, it's essential to recognize the significance of your environment, the people, places, and energies you allow to influence you. Your surroundings, whether physical or emotional, play a monumental role in shaping your mindset. in how you view your potential. The people you surround yourself with, the conversations you engage in, and even the messages you consume daily have the power to either elevate you or keep you trapped in a cycle of limitation. The environment you choose to immerse yourself in will either push you toward your goals or keep you in the comfort of your current state. If you want to rise above your limits and create lasting transformation, you need to curate your surroundings consciously. The first thing to consider when it comes to creating a positive environment for growth is the people you spend time with. Have you ever noticed that your energy shifts depending on the people you're around? Some people bring out the best in you, motivating you to reach higher and dream bigger. Others, however, may drain your energy, leave you feeling discouraged, or make you question your capabilities. Your environment is not just the physical space you occupy, it's also the emotional, mental, and social atmosphere you're immersed in. If you are surrounded by individuals who constantly tell you what you can't do or project their own fears and insecurities onto you, it becomes incredibly difficult to break free from the limits that have been placed upon you. These individuals may mean well, but their doubts and limitations are not yours to carry. You must decide whether you will allow those voices to drown out your own, or whether you will create space for your own powerful voice to be heard. Sometimes, creating the right environment for growth means distancing yourself from those who do not believe in your potential, or who unintentionally keep you stuck in the past. This may feel difficult at first, especially if these are people you care about deeply. But remember, you are not abandoning them. You are making a conscious choice to prioritize your growth, your peace, and your dream. On the flip side, it's equally important to actively seek out people who will challenge you to be better, who will encourage you when you feel like giving up, and who will remind you of your strength when your confidence wavers. These are the individuals who push you to expand your vision, who believe in your greatness before you even believe in it yourself. They are the ones who inspire you, offer advice without judgment, and celebrate your wins with genuine joy. Building a circle of individuals who uplift you is an essential step in transforming pain into power. They remind you of what you're capable of even when you lose sight of it. They help you keep your focus on the future instead of being weighed down by past mistakes or limitations. In addition to the people around you, the spaces you occupy can also impact your mindset. Have you ever noticed how clutter and chaos can affect your mental state? A disorganized, chaotic environment can mirror the disarray you feel inside. On the other hand, creating physical spaces that promote calm, clarity, and inspiration can help foster a mindset that aligns with your goals. This doesn't necessarily mean you need a perfectly tidy home or office. It means that you should consciously create an environment that reflects the type of energy you want to cultivate within yourself. A clean, peaceful, and inspiring space can help you focus, feel more productive, and even spark creativity. If you want to write a new story for your life, begin by creating an environment that supports and reflects the transformation you seek. Another powerful tool in creating the right environment for transformation is curating the information you consume. The media, books, podcasts, and even social media accounts you engage with play a huge role in shaping your beliefs and mindset. If you constantly consume negative news, discouraging messages, or content that reinforces limiting beliefs, it's no wonder that you struggle to break free from the narrative of your past. To rise above your limits, you must intentionally seek out content that nurtures your growth and aligns with your vision for the future. Choose to listen to stories of resilience, success, and triumph. Read books that inspire you to think differently and expand your horizon. Follow social media accounts that share messages of empowerment and positivity. When you surround yourself with uplifting, encouraging, and thought-provoking content, you feed your mind with the energy you need to grow. The power of positive reinforcement can never be overstated. And self. The way you speak to yourself, the affirmations you repeat, and the actions you take on a daily basis all contribute to the environment you create within yourself. The words you use, both internally and externally, hold immense power. When you speak to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and love, you reinforce a mindset of empowerment. You are telling yourself that you are worthy, capable, and deserving deserving of all the success and happiness life has to offer. But when you speak to yourself with judgment, criticism, or negativity, you reinforce the idea that you are limited, unworthy, or incapable. But changing the language you use to describe yourself and your journey is an essential part of creating an environment for transformation. Speak life into your dreams, your goals, and your vision. Celebrate the small victories and show gratitude for the growth you are experiencing, even if it doesn't always look how you imagine. Lastly, the environment that fosters transformation requires you to surround yourself with consistent inspiration. This means seeking out the people, places, experiences, and content that constantly reignite your fire. Inspirational messages, motivational speakers, and success stories can provide you with the fuel you need to continue pushing forward when the going gets tough. It's essential to find sources of inspiration that resonate deeply with you and help keep your vision for the future alive. This could be a morning routine that centers you, a podcast you listen to during your commute, or a community of like-minded individuals who share your commitment to growth. When you consistently feed your mind with inspiration and motivation, you create an environment that propels you toward your goals rather than keeping you stuck in the limitations of your past. Creating the right environment for growth doesn't mean eliminating all challenges or negative experiences. It means intentionally choosing to surround yourself with the people, places, and messages that support your journey toward transformation. It's about consciously curating an atmosphere that aligns with your vision for the future, one that encourages you to rise above your limits, transform your pain into personal power, and break free from the constraints of your past. As you actively cultivate the right environment, you will begin to see yourself and your life in a new light. You will start to believe in the power within you and the limitless potential that lies ahead. Surround yourself with the energy that fuels your growth, and watch as your story unfolds into something more beautiful and powerful than you ever imagined. One of the most significant steps you can take in your journey of transformation is learning to shift your mindset. The thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, and the way you perceive the world have an undeniable impact on how your life unfolds. If you want to rise above your limits and transform your pain into personal power, you must first understand that everything begins in your mind. Your mindset is the lens through which you view challenges, opportunities, and yourself. It determines your ability to persevere when times get tough, and it shapes the choices you make every single day. We all have internal dialogues, those thoughts that either empower or limit us. Some of us constantly tell ourselves that we aren't good enough, that we're too old or too young, or that we don't have the skills or resources to succeed. These limiting beliefs keep us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and inaction. But the truth is, these beliefs are not facts. They are just thoughts. And thoughts are incredibly powerful, but they are also changeable. You have the power to decide what thoughts you entertain and which ones you let go of. The first step in shifting your mindset is becoming aware of the negative thoughts and limiting beliefs that you hold. Pay attention to the narratives you tell yourself on a daily basis. Are they stories of empowerment, possibility, and resilience? Or are they filled with self-doubt, fear, and negativity? Often these thoughts are so deeply ingrained that we don't even realize we're entertaining them. They have become second nature, like a background hum that we've learned to tune out. But when you begin to pay attention to your thoughts, you'll start to see patterns that reveal the beliefs you've been holding on to for years. Identifying these beliefs is the first step toward breaking free from them. Once you identify the limiting beliefs, the next step is to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this belief serving me? Is it true? Is it something that I chose to believe? Or is it a belief that was imposed on me by others or by past experiences? More often than not, these limiting beliefs are not rooted in truth. They are simply stories that we've been telling ourselves for so long that we've come to accept them as reality. But once you realize that these beliefs are not the truth, you gain the power to change them. You have the ability to rewrite your inner narrative and replace these limiting thoughts with empowering beliefs. For example, if you've been telling yourself that you're not good enough, replace that thought with, I am more than enough. I have the power to learn, grow, and succeed. If you've been telling yourself that you're too old to make a change, replace that thought with, it's never enough to challenge a limiting belief once and expect instant change. You need to actively choose new, empowering thoughts each and every day. You need to speak to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and love. Speak life into your vision and your goals, and trust that you have everything you need within you to succeed. Another critical aspect of shifting your mindset is developing a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence are not fixed. They can be developed through dedication, effort, and learning. People with a growth mindset understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth, but a necessary part of the learning process. So they view challenges as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles to avoid. When you adopt a growth mindset, you stop fearing failure, and instead, you embrace it as a valuable experience that propels you forward. If you're someone who struggles with self-doubt or the fear of failure, remember that these feelings are completely normal. Everyone experiences them at some point in their journey. The key is not to let these feelings control you. Instead, see them as signals that you're pushing beyond your comfort zone and that you're on the verge of something incredible. Reframe your fear as excitement and understand that every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn and grow. When you make this shift, you'll begin to see failure not as something to be afraid of, but as something that helps you build resilience and strength. To rise above your limits, you also need to practice self-compassion. One of the most destructive things you can do on your journey is to be overly critical of yourself. When you make a mistake or face a setback, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-blame or self-criticism. You might start to tell yourself that you're not capable, that you're a failure, or that you're not good enough. These thoughts only serve to keep you stuck in the past and prevent you from moving forward. Instead, practice self-compassion. Understand that you are human, and it's okay to make mistakes. Making mistakes doesn't make you a failure. It makes you a learner. Every mistake is an opportunity to gain wisdom and insight. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend. When you face challenges, speak to yourself in a nurturing and supportive way. Remind yourself that setbacks are not permanent and that you are capable of overcoming them. Embrace the journey of growth and be gentle with yourself as you move through it. Self-compassion will help you build resilience and keep you focused on your long-term vision, rather than getting caught up in temporary setbacks or obstacles. Another powerful way to shift your mindset is by practicing gratitude. Gratitude is a game changer when it comes to personal growth. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your attention away from what's wrong in your life and instead focus on what's right. This simple shift in perspective can completely transform your mindset and help you tap into the power of positivity. Gratitude helps you see the opportunities in every challenge, the lessons in every failure, and the blessings in every situation. It opens your eyes to the abundance that already exists in your life and reminds you that you have everything you need to succeed. Start each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. No matter how big or small, this practice will help you cultivate a mindset of abundance and keep you focused on the positive aspects of your life. The more you practice gratitude, the more you will attract positive energy and opportunities into your life. Lastly, a crucial part of shifting your mindset is learning to trust the process. Transformation takes time. You won't wake up one day and suddenly have everything figured out. So lead out. There will be ups and downs, twists and turns, and moments of doubt along the way. But trust that every step you take is leading you closer to the person you are meant to be. Trust that the challenges you face are part of your growth. Trust that the universe has a plan for you, and that if you continue to show up with faith, determination, and a growth mindset, everything will unfold as it's meant to. To rise above your limits, you must first shift your mindset. It's not enough to simply want change. You must believe that change is possible. You must believe that you are capable, worthy, and deserving of all the success and happiness you desire. When you change your mindset, you change your life. You transform the way you approach challenges, and you develop the resilience and strength needed to overcome anything that stands in your way. So start today. Challenge your limiting beliefs. Embrace a growth mindset. Practice self-compassion and gratitude, and trust the process. When you shift your mindset, you unlock the power to rise above your limits and create a life that reflects your true potential.